Peacemaking to the point where people say yes requires immense creativity. The kind of creativity demonstrated by a man called Sam. He was one of this island's most notorious cross-border smugglers. When Sam decided to embark upon this shady career, he boarded the train for Dublin with a suitcase in his hand. When the train stopped in Newry, a young customs officer boarded the carriage, and Sam spotted his opportunity. He placed a £5 note in his own hand, reached out to shake the officer's hand and said, "I'll be returning later. I'm sure you won't ask me to open this suitcase." When the train stopped in Newry on his way home, 3 senior customs officers boarded the carriage. "Sir," they said, "we have reason to believe that you attempted to bribe one of our officers this morning and demand that you open this suitcase." Sam laid the suitcase flat on the table for theatrical effect and opened it. Ta-da! The suitcase was empty. It had been filled with items being smuggled south in the morning when he told the officer not to demand he open it when traveling north in the evening. Now that's creativity. And there's much more to that story. So for now, we will just place a comma there and not a full stop. We live in a world of full stops. Orange or green, full stop. Leave or remain, full stop. Science or conspiracy, full stop. In a world of full stops, we need more commas. The comma creates a pause. When did we last pause instead of rushing to express our own opinion? When did we last pause to think about why we view the world the way we do? When did we last pause for a cup of coffee with someone who holds a completely different view and really listen? It's fashionable to blame the news media for the polarization. And sometimes that's justified if we give too much airtime to the extreme views. But having been a journalist for more than 3 decades, I can assure you there is no mainstream media conspiracy. In fact, there is no such thing as the mainstream media. There's credible, verifiable fact, and there's conspiracy that spreads like wildfire. The world has always been a place of diverse opinions, and that's a really good thing. The bad thing is that everyone now has their own platform. And the more outspoken and controversial and immovable you are, the more traction you gain. Social media is, without question, the enemy of the peacemaker. I've had the privilege of interviewing 2 US presidents, 3 Irish presidents, 4 British prime ministers, 5 Irish prime ministers, and every first and deputy first minister here at Stormont in the last 25 years. So I've witnessed the shift from access and accountability to an attempt to manage the news. How bored are you of meaningless sound bites? Make America great again. Get Brexit done. Take back control. What happened to political discourse? Don't you just long for healthy conversations instead of bombast? Those conversations only take place when we pause for long enough. In a world of full stops, we need more commas. The comma creates a pause, and the comma brings clarity. A few years back, a pet magazine published its front cover with these words: "Rachel finds inspiration in cooking her family and cats." What they meant to print was Rachel finds inspiration in cooking, comma, her family and cats. By omitting the comma, they turned her into a monster. Ian Paisley and Martin McGuinness regarded each other as monsters until they paused for long enough to consider how their very different life experience had shaped them, and it brought them both clarity. Together they discovered that an Ulsterman and an Irishman could govern this little place better than any Englishman. So much of our troubled history is built on confusion about what the other side, themans, think about us. When did we last seek clarity? When did we last try to learn from an argument instead of trying to win the argument? When did we last consider that we just might not always be right? The greater good does not require there to be a winner and a loser. It requires compromise. It requires people to say yes to compromise. The most significant 19 words I have reported in 34 years of journalism were those of Senator George Mitchell. I am pleased to announce that the two governments and the political parties of Northern Ireland have reached agreement. They had paused for long enough to understand each other clearly enough to recognize what united them more than divided them, a determination to end the bombs and the bullets that had put a full stop to too many hopes and dreams. In a world of full stops, we need more commas. The comma creates a pause. The comma brings clarity. And the comma means there's still an opportunity to finish the story well. It isn't over. We thought the ceasefires were the pinnacle until they brokered the Good Friday Agreement. We thought the agreement was the pinnacle until the IRA decommissioned its weapons. We thought decommissioning was the pinnacle until Britain's Queen set foot in an independent Ireland. If there's one thing I've learned at Sky News, it's that the story is never over. From Brexit to COVID to the revolving door of number 10 Downing Street, the news just never stops. And Northern Ireland's story will never be over until we find the elusive path to reconciliation. Whether you want Northern Ireland to remain British or you want a united Ireland, it is my personal view that you will never win your argument by burning election posters on a bonfire or singing songs that glorify inglorious violence of the past. That might be how our story started. It doesn't have to be how our story ends. Julie Timlin, one of the most underrated poets of her generation, puts it like this. Imagine what would happen if we listened more and talked less. If our aim was understanding rather than winning an intellect war. What if we were prepared to give one another the benefit of the doubt instead of jumping, leaping, bounding to conclusions? I've traveled the length and breadth of Northern Ireland, meeting people from every possible background in the course of my career. And I've yet to meet one who doesn't want better for this little place. It's not too late to change the script and to change how we end this story. In a world of full stops, we need more commas. On the morning of George Best's funeral, outside this very building, Kay Burley and I were preparing to broadcast live. We heard the director in London say, 1 minute to air, and suddenly heavy rain blew a fuse in the satellite vehicle and everything stopped. Cameras, lights, auto cue, all gone. But the engineer, in record-breaking time, replaced the fuse, and everything sprang to life. And again, in our ear, we heard the director say, 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Kay looked straight into camera and said, a very good morning and welcome to Belfast. Viewers at home could not possibly have imagined the pandemonium on that set 3 seconds earlier. It could have ended disastrously, but that moment of a blown fuse didn't become a full stop. It became a comma. Remember the comma we placed in the story of Sam back at the beginning? Well, Sam went on to become a very prolific smuggler. but his wife saw very few of his spoils. He gave so much away to the poor on his way home, the newspapers branded him Ulster's Robin Hood. In due course, having served 2 prison sentences, he turned over a new leaf and became a very successful businessman, owning a petrol filling station, a caravan park in Donegal, and a construction company that built part of the M1 motorway in Northern Ireland. Eventually, he ran for politics. Well, most rogues do, don't they? His election campaign slogan, "Thank heavens, here's Blevins." Sam was my grandfather, and he is to me the ultimate illustration of how things can change for the better when we pause for long enough to see the world clearly enough and finish our story well. Thank you.